How we doing, everybody? Duncan Deli here, and today we're going to be going over the best strategies to use in NHL 24. From my personal experience, I've messed around with a bunch of different sliders, and I felt that these ones were the best ones that made me play at the top of my level. And I'm also going to be showing you guys what abilities you should be activating on your Ultimate Team players to make sure that your team is playing at the best it possibly can. If you guys want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video. Without further ado, let's get into it. So to start off, we're going to go over all the sliders first, and then we'll get into the abilities afterwards, because I feel like the sliders are a little bit more important. So for the offensive strategy, we're going to be using Overload. I felt that when it comes to just getting those backdoor one-timers and getting your guys into good position for the open shots that work this year, Overload is definitely the play. I have noticed behind the net might be better for cycling the puck around the zone, but as long as you are good at just controlling the puck in the corner and doing the best of your ability to just keep your back to your opponent so they can't bump you as easily, it's way better to use Overload, just so that way your computer players can get where they need to be. For the carry/dump slider, you're going to be using 0 out of 10 on this, as there's really no reason to dump the puck in the zone. I noticed that at least when I used it all the way towards dump, my guys would just completely crash the net as fast as possible, but then if I ever turned over the puck, they would not be able to come back in time to actually counter a rush. So what would happen is I would give up way too many 3-on-2s or 2-on-1s. So definitely not worth it, as you guys know how bad the bumping is in this game. It's very easy to turn over the puck, which is one wrong move. Heading into our next slider, cycle/shoot. We're going to be going 3 out of 10 on this. So go all the way to the left and then go 3 to the right. And as you guys use this strategy, you will understand why it's so effective, as there are certain plays that you can look for when you're playing. Like a perfect example would be if you have a left-handed winger on the right side of the ice or a right-handed winger on the left side of the ice. If you pass to them while they're just kind of sitting in the slot, you can easily just rip far side wrist shots with them. And they go in quite often, at least, especially against rather smaller goalies, or if your player has any sort of shooting ability. I would say they go in at least 50 to 60% of the time. So for that reason alone, there's no reason not to have your slider at this. I have tried it all the way towards shoot, and I noticed the problem is your players don't really cycle around the zone at all. And when it's all the way towards 0, all the way towards cycle, your players will always cycle into the exact same spot, and it's way too consistent. There's no, I wouldn't say randomness, but there's no change. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need to do something a little bit different to catch your opponent off guard. So putting it kind of a little bit towards the middle gets a little bit of both. Now heading into the next slider, we have efficiency/energy. You're always going to have this 10 out of 10. You want your players hustling at full speed the entire game. I would much rather have players at 15 minutes of the game hustling full speed and 5 minutes being tired than never hustling at full speed at all. So that's pretty much all of that. And then the next slider, we have don't block/block. All the way towards block, especially this year with how bad the rebounds are with goalies. And with the pressure system, you're trying to block shots. You don't want to give your opponent shots to build up the pressure meter. So definitely want that all the way towards 10. Now heading into defense, we have hold line/pinch. You are going to set this to 5 out of 10, right smack in the middle. I noticed that the defense is pretty consistent when it comes to the puck being loose in the offensive zone, whether to chase the puck and try and grab it first, or just sit back on the blue line and not overcommit. Because sometimes, as you guys will see in my next upcoming strategies for the team strategies, that forecheck is extremely important. So definitely I would put it right back in the middle. And also I have tried every single slider on this. I've tried 0 through 10, and none of them were able to solve the problem, which I'm sure you guys have experienced before, where your opponent is coming down the ice on a rush and your defenseman decides to step up at the blue line for basically no reason, and just allows the forward to just get right by you. None of these sliders help with that problem, unfortunately. So that's the only issue, but this isn't like an issue with the slider itself. This is probably just an issue with the game that needs to be fixed. But this is the best strategy when being in the offensive zone. And for the last one, for the defensive strategy, cycle/shoot, very similar to forward, but this one you're going to put to 4 out of 10. I noticed that my defensemen quite often, when I put it all the way to 0, they would just keep cycling around the boards, and they wouldn't just kind of sit in the middle of the ice to take shots if need be. So I really was not a fan of that. So I kind of like it near the middle, so I think 4 out of 10 is a good spot for it. But There's nothing wrong if you guys want to try something different with this one, but as long as it's not 0 out of 10, I think anything other than that should be fine. But I just have mine set to 4. Now going on to the team strategies. These are going to be the most important ones, so make sure you guys listen up for this. So the forecheck, you're going to set that to 2-3. As you guys can see on the left side of the screen, you're always going to be forechecking 2 guys at once, no matter what. So you have to understand that this strategy is full out attack. And my theory on this strategy is, if you cannot score when you're playing full out attack, then you're not going to score at all. So I want you guys to start using 2-3 with the 1-2-2 blue. And what you want to practice is using manual player switching to forecheck. So if you guys are not aware what that is, you're going to hold down the right trigger if you're on Xbox, or R2 if you're on PlayStation, and use the right stick. You can flick the right stick in any direction when you're holding down the right trigger, and it will switch to whatever player is in that direction. So this will allow you to basically control exactly what player you are switching to, and make it a lot easier for you to forecheck, as now it's not just completely random where your computer players skate. You're going to have control over where the player skates. Now for forecheck, you're going to put that to 6 out of 6. Of course, like I said, full forecheck. However, in the defensive zone, it's going to be a little bit different, as you're going to put protect the net for the defensive pressure and collapsing for the defensive strategy. And this is going to be really important because you don't want to be chasing people around like a headless chicken. You want your computer players to be staying where they need to be, and you need to be the one to pull them away if need be and make a play. Because that is the last thing you guys want, is your computer players skating around aimlessly in the zone and just giving up nothing but backdoor one-timers. So this is an absolute must for pretty much every single player, no matter what skill level you are. Now for the next strategy, we're going to do offensive pressure. Again, full out attack, as I said before. But now very important is the control breakout at 3 high and the quick breakout at leave zone early. Now, unfortunately, my flip pass doesn't work nearly as effective as last year, so you don't have that to your availability. But nonetheless, this will help you get the easiest counterattacks you possibly can in the game. And I would highly suggest that you guys learn how to do saucer passing. If you don't know what that is, it is where instead of clicking R2 or R trigger to pass the puck, you're going to hold down R1 or RB if you're on Xbox. And based on how long you're holding the button down for will be how hard the pass is. Now, I'll say this is definitely one of the biggest skill gaps in NHL this year. So if you guys are not that good with it, I would suggest going in practice mode and just passing around for a couple minutes, maybe 10-15 minutes a day, and you will instantly get so much better at it. And it'll make you just a way better player, because there's so many times breaking the puck up the boards that a regular pass just would not work, but a saucer pass works beautifully. So definitely would suggest these strategies for anyone that feels that they're lacking offensive intensity, really just needs to put pressure on their opponents, and anyone who's tired of people just walking all over them. This is how you stop that. Now, obviously, there's going to be games where things don't go your way. You give up counterattacks, you give up 2-on-1s and breakaways, because these strategies are very aggressive. But my personal opinion on this, I would rather give up goals to 2-on-1s and breakaways, knowing those are high percentage shots, than give up 30 random shots and 5 of them go in the net, right? Because at the end of the day, if you could sit back and play passive, it's hockey. Luck happens in hockey. Things aren't going to always go your way. So I would rather the puck be in your zone as long as possible, because the more the puck is in your zone, the less time you have to score on me. So that's always going to be my theory, at least this year. I'm never going to change that. These will be the strategies I use for the rest of the year. So I highly suggest that you guys give them a shot. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. But now I think it's time to go into some abilities. So let's go ahead and hop over there. So real quick, just to do a quick 30-second recap of my team, just so you guys know what I'm working with on my team and where I'm putting my ability points towards. We have Gordie Howe, Madonna, and McDavid on the first line, Yager, Gretzky, and McKinnon on the second line, Lemieux, Matthews, and Tkachuk on the third line, and Leclerc, Messier, and Shanahan on the fourth. And on defense, we have Seth Jones and Miro Heiskanen on pair number 1. Pair number 2, we have Robin Regeer and Adrian Aucoin. And on pair 3, we have Cale Makar and Victor Hedman. I do have fantasy Drew Doughty here, so just ignore Makar. Drew Doughty should be there. I just don't have him there yet. And then for goalie, I do not have Team of the Year Omar yet, so we're going to ignore goalie abilities right now. We're not going to count that. Obviously, if you have Team of the Year Omar, nothing wrong with putting an ability on him if you like him. But I'm not there yet, so we're going to disregard that. Now, getting into the abilities I have activated, I only have a total of 8 players on my whole team that actually have any abilities on them. And as you see in the top right corner, there is a total of 65 ability points that you can have towards your team. So I have 17 ability points on McDavid, that being Gold Wheels, Born Leader, and Silver Unstoppable Force. Now, I have been working with Unstoppable Force and Elite Edges on him. They're both extremely good. You can go either way. I just personally like the few times where I'm able to basically miss a bump just because of Unstoppable Force. At least the way that I play, that's really important to me. So for that reason, I have Unstoppable Force on it, but nothing wrong with using Elite Edges. And Born Leader, I had exactly 3 points left over, so I figured I'd give it a shot and throw it on him and see what happens. Then on Gordie Howe, I have Gold Truculence and Silver Close Quarters. Now, a lot of people criticize me for using him on my first line, which I will show you why I do after we're done here. But Gold Truculence on a forward this year is so overpowered with how good the hitting is, and he seems to be the only really good forward that has it. So I think he's only like $350,000 on the auction house as of right now. I would suggest people for that price, go out and buy this card and give him a shot. You would not be disappointed with this card whatsoever. He's so good that I play him over Lemieux. He's that good. Next, we got Nathan McKinnon, who just has Gold Wheels on. You guys are going to see a common trend here that Gold Wheels is just by far the best ability. It is worth the 10 AP, especially right now, considering there's really no defenseman outside of the 2 Team of the Year players that are fast enough to catch up to McDavid and McKinnon. So you want to take advantage of that early on. Maybe later on in the year when every player has 99 speed, that won't be the case. But as of right now, they're just so much faster than everyone else. It seems like you're handicapping yourself not using it. And the next player we have is Wayne Gretzky. I have him at my second line center. We are only using Gold Unstoppable Force on him, as I feel like because he's a little bit undersized, he really benefits from this ability, as it feels like it makes him just big enough to be a viable centerman. Now, had Gretzky be a winger for me, I probably don't use this on him. I'd probably move him down to a lower line because of his size. But playing him at center because he has the highest draws on my team, I think it's worth putting the ability on him. With an amazing shot in hands and good speed, definitely not a bad player to have with an ability. Next, we have what I would say is my dark horse player. 89 overall, Jaromir Jagr with Gold Elite Edges. I don't know why this card is so cheap, but I would go out and buy him. He is like, I think right now only 175 to 200,000 coins, if not cheaper now. And with Gold Elite Edges makes him feel like 99 agility. With 93 speed and he's 6'3", 230 pounds, you can't beat it. I actually am currently playing him over Leclerc and over Matthew Tkachuk. So think about that. I'm playing Jagr over my Team of the Year Tkachuk. That is how good this card is. That's how good Gold Elite Edges is on a big forward. It is absolutely broken. A must-have on your team if you can afford it. And the next player we have up is a team builder, Robin Regeer with Gold Truculence. I think a lot of people have the team builder, so this is something that I think a lot of you guys are able to activate. And what a Truculence does this year that's so important is when a player is full energy and you hit him with Gold Truculence, it'll completely drain their energy and they will have nothing left. But when you hit a player that is completely drained already with Gold Truculence, they will be on the ground for about 20 seconds out of the game. So for that 20-second window, you basically have a power play. And not only that, but he's not only just going to be dead, he can't even get off the ice. He's on the ground for 20 seconds. He ain't getting up. He ain't going nowhere. So I would suggest you guys give this a shot. I know a lot of people prefer Ian Mitchell, I believe is the other team builder's name. But I would give Robin Regeer a shot here. Definitely the best defensive team builder, and it's not even close with Gold Truculence. Next, we have the 89 overall Seth Jones with Gold Quick Pick. I have been messing around with this. I've had some mixed feelings about it. There's times it doesn't work. But I will say this is the one defensive ability that it has saved me goals simply because this was on. There have been so many times where a one-timer easily would get through me, but because of Quick Pick, I'm able to block it up and get the puck out of my zone. Now, of course, there's going to be flukes where that doesn't work in your favor, and the puck still goes through your player. That's going to happen. It is what it is. But I would say at least 80% of the time he's picking off every pass. So for that reason alone, like that 99 defensive awareness will not be better than Gold Quick Pick no matter what. So for that reason alone, I have to have him on my first line. It is way too valuable at the top level of competition to not have this on. And lastly, we have Victor Hedman with Silver Quick Pick. He is on my third pair, but at the end of the day, it's only 2 ability points for how cheap Quick Pick is. I think there is no reason to not activate this ability. And at 6'7", his reach is absolutely insane with this ability. So I think everyone should go out of their way to activate this for sure. Now, real quick, I also want to go into why I'm suggesting you guys go out and get a Gordie Howe if you can afford it. Now that Matthew Tkachuk is in the game, as you can see here, he gives +3 synergies to all abilities you have activated on him, just like the other Team of the Years did. Well, one ability he has, or one synergy I mean, is Enforcer Forward, which gives your player +2 speed, body checking, slap shot and wrist shot power, and strength. Now, Matthew Tkachuk gives 3. Gordie Howe gives 1 point. You're going to have a head coach. And the other player in the game that's really good that has it is Mark Messier. 90 overall. He has the ability as well. So that being said, Gordie Howe at a 93 overall, even though he's supposed to be slower, has 94 speed, 93 acceleration, 96 agility, and 96 balance, including a shooting ability, which helps his lackluster shot, and gold truculence, which makes him the best forechecker in the game. For that reason alone, I have him over Nathan MacKinnon, as I have McDavid on my first line, so I feel like it actually might benefit me to have 2 99 speed skaters on 2 different lines, so that way they don't get tired at the same time. So I would suggest you guys to give this a shot and let me know what you guys think, but I really think that this is the best team you can have this year. I mean, maybe you can have a better center than the 89 Matthews. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, maybe you can have XFactor Eichel in your fourth line. But, again, I'm not spending all those coins for a fourth liner, because I wouldn't play Eichel over Lemieux, McKinnon, or Gordie Howe. So, I like the team where I'm at right now, and I want to know what you guys think. And especially not just about the strategies, but about the abilities I use. I would also suggest that you guys make sure that you guys have anyone with gold wheels that is over like 94 speed. So that would be like Mike Badano, Martin Nietzsche, McDavid, McKinnon, anyone. Like, have at least 2 guys on your team with gold wheels activated, and just let them ride. Just let them skate around with the puck. It is absolutely broken how good it is this year. And at least until defenseman speed start to catch up to the forwards, there's no reason not to use it, and you'll instantly have an advantage over everyone you're playing. All right, so that's going to wrap things up, guys. Again, if you guys liked the video, make sure to throw a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.